Hey guys, happy Friday. We've made it to Friday. It's time for a Pucket with Joe. It is Friday, February 10th, 3:30 Eastern here. You guys, thanks for joining me. We got 4 games on the ice tonight. Now, looking back at how we did last night, not great. We got a nice win with Tampa Bay Lightning in regulation. If you sprinkled on that puck line as well, really good there. Now, the Islanders really let us down. In the parlay, we went 3 and 4. For best bets, we went 3 and 2. Kraken letting us down as well, not getting over their team total. So it's Friday. Let's make some freaking money today in this one. Now, if you took that reverse puck line on Vegas yesterday, like we were talking about, taking the reverse puck line at -1.5, that paid plus 232. So I hope all of you guys took that. We talked about that one. Someone brought it up in the chat. That definitely made us some money. Big shout out to each and every one of you here. I see you guys each and every day. I really, really appreciate you guys being here. And I appreciate my streaming software for working right the first time today so that we could get off at the right time instead of sitting here trying to connect forever. But you guys, like I said, 4 games on the ice tonight. We got a massive weekend ahead of us with Super Bowl. So I wish you guys all the best today and this weekend. I will go live with Puckett this weekend as well. So make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button so you know when I go live on the weekends. I can do up some videos for you guys as well if that helps. The Seattle Kraken, though, New York Rangers, 7 o'clock Eastern tonight in this one. We have the Seattle Kraken on the back-to-back coming in here as the dog on the road, plus 150, -182 for the New York Rangers. Igor Shesterkin expected here. Now, I want to see if there's been any changes to this. We have the Rangers. They will be playing the Carolina Hurricanes tomorrow. Now, we know the Rangers sitting third in the Metro, the Carolina Hurricanes sitting first. So I'm kind of interested to see if they will start Igor in this one. I'm not sure if they'll want him. Yeah, they are starting Igor tonight. So not saving him for tomorrow night. Now, Igor Shesterkin coming in with a save shots on goal sitting at 27.5. Juice to that over at -126. With the Seattle Kraken here, they are averaging 30.1 shots on goal, and the New York Rangers line that 29.4. That's going to be really tight to taking that over the 27.5 because I struggle to see the Seattle Kraken getting all these shots on the back-to-back with tired legs. But I do think Igor would go over that number if the Seattle Kraken come out strong enough in this game. Now, I'm expecting a lower scoring one here, so I think there is value with the New York Rangers playing tomorrow versus the Carolina Hurricanes to take the under 6 in this one, lower scoring, and then the Seattle Kraken here plus 1.5 at -155. You'd have to parlay that if you like it here, but we have seen the Seattle Kraken team not getting the wins. So they've lost their last 2. They lost to Devils 3-1. They also lost to the Islanders on Tuesday. They got completely shut out 4-0. I do see a Kraken team that does battle back in this one, keeping it tight. I do expect them to put up a couple goals, but I do think the Rangers finish on top of this one. I think this is a 3-2 style game all day long for the New York Rangers. So I'm going to grab the Seattle Kraken plus 1.5 at -155 on a parlay. And I'm going to parlay that with something else. But I'm also going to look at the under 6. I think it's the best way to go with this game here. I think Igor Shesterkin does have a really solid game. So I'm going to grab him over that 27.5. I'm expecting the Seattle Kraken to really come out firing. They have to find the back of the net. So I'm expecting it tonight. I'm expecting them to fire away, but Igor to save those shots on goal. We got Chiefs fans in here. We got Eagles fans in here. It is great to see you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me know who you're betting in the Super Bowl and tell you guys right away. I'm taking Jalen Hurts for that anytime touchdown in the Super Bowl. That's coming in pretty even money. And I'm taking the sacks over 5.5. So video will be coming out on those as well. You took that reverse puck line, made yourself some good money, and you parlayed it. Oh my God. Then you parlayed it with the Tampa Bay Lightning on that puck line. You freaking cashed yesterday. I absolutely love it. Congratulations. If we're going to a bar tonight, drinks definitely would be on you or on me. I didn't parlay those, but I took those bets. So great to see. Tampa in the first period definitely cashed for sure. You guys, great to see you all in here today. Picks from Dave, big shout out to you as well. Thanks for jumping in. And Hurts under passing yards. I think under passing yards, but you know what? I'd go over on his rushing yards. We know that the Kansas City Chiefs give up the yardages to quarterbacks rushing and for those touchdowns. So there will be not a quarterback video, an NFL video coming out for Super Bowl. But let's talk hockey. Vladimir Tarasenko traded. Now on the Rangers from the Blues. I know some Blues fans that are pretty upset about this one. It's a good move for Vladimir Tarasenko, I think, not for the Blues. Definitely for the Rangers. So lots of things coming in here, you guys. There is so many ways you can bet Super Bowl. I can't wait. Let me know what you're doing for Super Bowl as well. It's going to be a fun day. I am on Sports Grid after Super Bowl from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. So you guys let me know. You're going to go Toronto versus Columbus. I do like that. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So the New York Rangers game, let's get back to hockey. I'm going to take the Seattle Kraken plus the 1.5. I expect this to be a low-scoring, tight game. I think this is a 3-2 style game in this one tonight, just because the Rangers have the Carolina Hurricanes on a deck. That will be a battle of the Metro tomorrow. And I think Igor Shesterkin take his over 27.5 save shots on goal. Seattle Kraken haven't been getting these goals, and they haven't been firing enough on goal. I think we see them firing more, and I do see Igor standing on his head because the Rangers need this win. And you're right, Vladimir Tarasenko was acquired from the St. Louis Blues. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Columbus Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock Eastern on this game as well. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs coming in as large favorites, and Columbus coming in as a home underdog at plus 205, total of 6.5. Columbus hasn't played since the All-Star break here. These two teams play again tomorrow in Toronto. So I don't think Toronto completely dominates this matchup. With Columbus coming in with so much rest, I think they're going to be prepared here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Samsonov is expected, and let me double check this one as well, because I'm really interested to see how they do the goalies for both sides with the back-to-back. So it is Samsonov in goal and Korpisalo in goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets, which will equal definitely a good matchup. This is a matchup. Well, I expected Samsonov to play at home, to be honest with you, but they're going to start him here in this one. What I'm looking at in this one is Columbus to be able to keep it tight. I think Columbus coming in off of rest on their home ice should be able to keep this one tight. Taking them plus 1.5 is coming in at minus 115. Now, I know Toronto is the better team. They're coming off that loss from against the Boston Bruins on Wednesday. It was a 5-2 loss. But I think with these teams returning to Toronto, I can see Toronto, if they win it big, being tomorrow, because who will we get in goal for Columbus? Elvis in goal? Like, this is going to be one where I think the Columbus Blue Jackets will be prepared to take on Toronto at home in this one. Now, they did lose those last 3 before the All-Star break. They had an overtime loss, though, to the Capitals in that last game. And the Maple Leafs coming in here, just so strong defensively, holding opponents to 2.69 goals per game and 28.8 shots. So they will be able to limit them in this one, but I look at this one and I just think it's going to be tighter. These two teams, though, when they play against each other, do trend to that over. I think we have a hugely high over game tomorrow, especially on Toronto's side. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be riding Toronto's team total. Once back home with Elvis in goal. But as for today, I got to take the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5. And like I said, these teams do trend to that over. So the over 6.5 definitely in play. The over going 4-1-1 in the last 6 meetings between these two. The Maple Leafs playing on a couple of days rest are 4-1-2 to the over. The Blue Jackets 4-1 to the over in their last 5 versus the Eastern Conference. So nice solid trends to that over. picks from Dave, liking that over as well. Okay. Next game on the board, we have, and you're liking, and then of course, Toronto in the first period definitely is a solid play to come out here. Toronto definitely is able to get things going for sure. Last 5 games, goalie Corpostello has the first period record. That's definitely, see, this is why I love you guys in here, bringing all this information to all of the viewers. So you guys, that is a fantastic stat on Corpostello. This doesn't mean that Columbus can't keep it tight, taking the Toronto Maple Leafs here in the first period. Actually, I think Columbus is one of those teams that will just fight to the very end. So I'm not even worried if Toronto gets up in that first period. There's value on Toronto in the first period as well. So I think it is definitely a solid way to go, you guys. Now, the Arizona Coyotes and the Chicago Blackhawks. The Arizona Coyotes, Chicago Blackhawks. Who's excited to watch this game tonight? I surely know I'm not. Now, these teams just did play in January with the Arizona Coyotes getting a 2-0 win. Chicago coming in here as a slight dog here at home. Now, this game, it's really, who do you think is going to play worse than the other? We've got the Coyotes coming in 7th in the Central. We got the Blackhawks coming in 8th in the Central. Neither team is playing strong. We have seen really weak defense out of both of these teams, really weak goaltending as well. Now, the last game the Blackhawks played in with the Ducks, they had to go to overtime. They lost that one. They have the Jets on deck tomorrow, which is in Winnipeg. They're sitting 2nd in the Central, but this team isn't going to look ahead to another Central Division opponent. They just want to win every single game that they can, or they want to tank. It looks like they're trying to tank right now. What I'm going to do here is I can't look at the Arizona Coyotes. If this was in Arizona, maybe go with the home ice here. The Chicago Blackhawks, am I going to bet it? No. If I had to take a side, that's where I was going to go. The total, I got to hit under 6. I just don't see the offensive production out of either of these teams. Really sloppy offensively, just missing the goal in so many situations when you watch them. Super frustrating, looking like they're going to cover a puck line and just not able to do it. We look at the Chicago Blackhawks, 15-29, 3-2 on the season, 9-16, 1-2 at home. The Arizona Coyotes are sitting 17-28 and 4 on the season with a road record of 6-22 and 2. I'm not putting my money with either of these teams. If you guys want to, absolutely go for it. The one good thing for the Blackhawks here, they do have the opportunity to get the win at home because the Arizona Coyotes have really struggled in Chicago. They've gone 3-7 in the last 10 meetings in Chicago. So the Blackhawks do have home ice advantage between these two teams. I think the under cashes in this one. The Blackhawks are 5-2 in their last 7 to Central Divisional opponents to that under. They also play to the under when playing teams with winning percentages below 400, going 9-3 to that under. And the under has hit in 5 of the last 7 meetings in Chicago. So give me the under 6 in this one, you guys. You're riding with the Blackhawks. You're going to go with this one to go overtime. I could see it. I definitely could see this being a 2-2 game, go to overtime. Gets us the under 6 in this one. And hopefully the Blackhawks can pull it off if you're going to sprinkle on them. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Anaheim Ducks. This one's at 10 o'clock Eastern, so this is our late game of the night. The Ducks coming in as a large dog at home at plus 220. Does anyone think the Ducks are quacking tonight? Because I don't see them quacking in this one. The Pittsburgh Penguins coming in here at minus 275. Now, this is going to be an interesting one to see how the Pittsburgh Penguins finish this game. They're off that nice win in OT versus the Colorado Avalanche, which we were riding with them. They have the LA Kings on deck. So this is not a divisional opponent. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins sitting 5th in the Metro. They need every win they can get at the moment. The Kings on tomorrow's board are in the Pacific. I think they're 3rd in the Pacific right now. The Anaheim Ducks rolling here, sitting 8th in the Pacific. The Pittsburgh Penguins really need this win tonight, but the question is, can they cover the puck line over the Anaheim Ducks? The Anaheim Ducks really are one of those teams that play up to opponents. They're sitting 9-13-1 at home this season, 10-13 on that puck line at home, 24-28 on the puck line overall. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins rolling in here, sitting 10-10-4-1 on the road. They're 14-11 on the road on that puck line, 21-29 on the puck line overall. Tristan Jarry expected to start here for them. Now, he has a 2.65 goals against average. This team is averaging over 3 goals per game at 3.24 and 33 shots on goal. Now, John Gibson expected here for the Anaheim Ducks. We know he lets these goals come in. He has a goals against average of 3.69. Now, the defense of the Anaheim Ducks is allowing 3.98 goals per game and 38.7 shots on goal per game. So the Anaheim Ducks are going to give plenty of opportunities to the Pittsburgh Penguins to score in this one. This will come down to John Gibson and how well he can stand on his head. Can he stand on his head enough to shut down the Pittsburgh Penguins team total? I think absolutely not. Even if Pittsburgh is kind of overlooking the Ducks here, I do think they score 4 goals in this one. You can get their team total over 3.5. Now, please, please, please shop these lines. I'm seeing the over 3.5 anywhere from -120 up to minus like almost 150, like high -145s, 146, 47. So shop these lines, get the best value. I do like their team total over 3.5. The last time these teams played back in earlier January, we saw a 4-3 win for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think it's kind of a similar game. I don't trust the Anaheim Ducks enough to take them plus the 1.5, but I don't trust the Penguins enough to lay the 1.5 with them either. So a situation where I like that team total. I just need the Penguins to score 4 goals. Now, there's been a couple of games as of late where I've just needed a team to score the goals. We've seen a lower scoring one, them staying under that total. I don't think this is one. I think the Ducks defense is just so bad in this one. Now, when we look at the Pittsburgh Penguins and that puck line, they have failed to cover that puck line in each of their last 11 games against the Pacific Divisional opponents. But again, I just can't put my money on the Ducks plus 1.5. It might be a smart way to go, you guys. If you like the Ducks tonight, I would grab that. If you guys think they're quacking, definitely let me know. Now, something, if you're looking for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first period, we know the Ducks have lost their last 6 first periods at home following an overtime win. They are off that overtime win, 3-2 over the Blackhawks. Now, they have Vegas on deck on Sunday, which is a battle of the Pacific. They're not going to look past the Pittsburgh Penguins here for a game on Sunday versus a divisional opponent. It's just not going to happen. They're sitting at the back of the Pacific, playing the first team in the Pacific. This isn't a situation where they're going to look ahead. The Ducks are also 1-4 in their last 5 versus the Metro. Got an interesting matchup here for sure, but I think the Penguins get the win, keep it tight. You could take the Penguins in regulation. I just don't like the value we're getting. And yes, we are seeing the Penguins going 0-4 in their last 4 road games. And 3 of them were overtime losses there. So I think this is a good one where you can count on the Penguins. Let's just see what they are in regulation. I didn't even look at it because I looked earlier. The numbers not sticking in my head. I just don't think there's going to be any value. Yeah, -170 in regulation. And that's what I mean. You got to find value in these games. Now, looking at that first period in this game, it might be an interesting way to go with the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first period if you can get value. So Pittsburgh Penguins laying a half a goal here at -0.5 on that puck line in the first period is +112. And I do like that. I love taking these big favorites here to come out strong in that first period at +112. Now the money line, we're not going to get any value. And while this total... the total's sitting at 6.5. Let's just see what the first period total goals is. Total goals over 1.5 in that first period is too juiced at -152. So not finding the value there either, you guys, at that one. If you like the under, though, it's -120. Okay, so those are all 4 games on the board. I don't love the 4 games on the board. Like, I love some of the other ones this week, but it is what it is. This is what we get, you guys. So I think there's still opportunities to make some money. I think the best opportunity to make some money is on the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 tonight. I think that's a prime opportunity for that team, just in the situation they're in, to have a tight game versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then the other one, I really do think that we can see the under hit between the Rangers and the Kraken. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins team total over 3.5. The Arizona Coyotes and the Columbus Blue Jackets game just isn't one that I think there is any value even in watching, let alone betting. But if you really want to bet it, the under seems to be the way to go. So let's build a parlay. Let's recap these games, and then let's get back to our day, you guys. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, by the way. The Seattle Kraken and the New York Rangers here. I'm going to ride with the Seattle Kraken plus 1.5 at minus 155 for the parlay. I think there is value in taking the Kraken there to keep it tight. I just can't bet that straight up at minus 155. So that's for the long shot parlay. Looking at the total here, pretty much lean to that under 6 in this one. I think it's a low scoring one. I think that's the best way to bet this game if you want to bet it straight up, would be the under 6. You could look at the New York Rangers in the first period as well. I think they probably have a really strong first period against Seattle Kraken on the back-to-back. They just have the Canes on deck tomorrow. So this is what worries me for the New York Rangers. So expect a really strong first period, but I think the Kraken keep it tight with this one. So the New York Rangers here in the first period, absolutely great way to go in the first period. If you like the first period bets, you guys, I'll just get the value and that we're getting for them here for you. So over on FanDuel, the first period for the New York Rangers on that puck line at minus 0.5, you're getting plus 130. So definitely a lot of value. I could see this one being a 1-0 or 2-0, and then the goals really stopping for these two teams, because I do think it's a lower scoring one. Okay, so I'll put the Kraken on the puck line plus 1.5. I think the Rangers first period puck line at plus 1, minus 0.5 at plus 130 screams absolute value today. I'm going to actually give that out to my clients and take it as one of my best bets today, because I absolutely love it the more I think about it. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Columbus at home, fresh off the All-Star break. I think they have every opportunity to keep it tight here. I'm going to throw the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 into the parlay at minus 115. Again, I think this is one of the better bets of the day. I think Columbus can keep this tight. So my Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 is something I'm also going to bet in this one. Now, their team total is another really interesting way to go in this one. If we're getting it over 2.5 with value, I would hit this one up as a straight up bet as well. I'm just pulling up that number for you. Over 2.5 is coming in at minus 108. Now, I do think they'll be able to score in this one. So I do like that over 2.5. They're going to have to get 3 goals to keep it tight with the Toronto Maple Leafs in this one. Now, I know Toronto's defense is really strong, but we've seen the Columbus Blue Jackets in certain situations really open up offensively. They will need to do that tonight against the Maple Leafs. And off the break, I expect this to come in. So taking their team total over 2.5 is another solid way to go. Now, looking at the Arizona Coyotes and the Chicago Blackhawks, like I said, you guys, this one, we don't have to bet every game. I would rather bet to see which one of my children complain first tonight than I would to bet this game. So give me the Blackhawks. If you got to bet it at home, I just like the home ice advantage. Arizona has struggled in Chicago. Now, the other way to look at this is to take the under 6. I do think we have a lower scoring one. These two teams are so unpredictable with what they do, though. So give me the Blackhawks, give me the under, only if you have to bet it. Now, I'm going to throw it out. Like, this game's off the board for me. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Anaheim Ducks here. I don't trust the Ducks enough to take them plus 1.5 on that puck line. If you do, you're getting great value. If you think the Ducks are quacking tonight, absolutely grab them plus 220. We know the Ducks love to pull these upsets. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins with the LA Kings on deck tomorrow. Much harder game. So if you think they're in a look ahead, you definitely can hit that. I don't trust either team on that puck line. I just don't feel confident enough with either in this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Penguins team total over 3.5. I also like them in that first period at minus 0.5 at plus 112. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins come out, play a really solid, nice first period. And I like to do this with the favorites that are on the back-to-back that have a harder opponent the next day to come out strong and then kind of let things go in the third. And I'm finding a lot of these situations where that's exactly what we see out of some of these teams. And I need to like keep better track of which teams, when they have a harder opponent, come out, because I can't find anyone who tracks that with a divisional opponent, something like that on deck, how these teams do in that first period. Because I think from what like I've seen, not keeping track of it, those teams come out strong in the first period, they play solid in the second, and the third period is where that underdog covers that puck line. So that's kind of like what we're seeing here. So I don't trust either team here, but that first period for the Pittsburgh Penguins on the puck line at minus 0.5 at plus 112, I think is great opportunity. I am going to throw into the parlay the Penguins team total over 3.5. So you're paying minus 130 for that, you guys. So the parlay, just to remind you guys, is the Kraken plus 1.5, the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5, and the Pittsburgh Penguins team total over 3.5. If you think it's an underdog night, just take all the underdogs plus 1.5, except for the Chicago Blackhawks game, because we're going to throw that one out the window. I do think the Ducks could possibly keep it tight, just because what we see with the Penguins with LA on deck tomorrow. It's just a much harder game that they have ahead of them, but they should come out and destroy the Ducks in this one. So for the best bets, you guys, I'm going to take the Penguins first period over, sorry, I'm just writing it down. I'm going to take the Penguins in the first period on that puck line at plus 112. I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5. I'm going to take the Rangers in the first period on the puck line at plus 130. So those are my three best bets. I hope you guys make some freaking money tonight. I'm excited tonight. Yeah, Coyotes aren't at home in this one. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Ducks have been quacking. Okay. Then if you think the Ducks are quacking, definitely grab them. Plus 220. I don't hate it with the Penguins with the Kings on deck tomorrow. I do think no matter what happens, the Penguins get 4 goals. This could be like a blowout of the total if the Ducks can keep pace here with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So it'll be a really interesting game. We know the Penguins have been stepping up defensively in that last game that they played versus the Avs, holding the Colorado Avalanche to that 1 goal. But this team does allow 3.06 goals per game on average and 34.1 shots on goal. So if you think the Ducks are in prime situation to get the win, I don't hate it. You guys know I love home underdogs and that plus money. I just can't trust the Ducks enough. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here today. Join me all weekend. I will be on Sports Grid tomorrow between, let me remember, 12 and 4 Eastern with Joe Ranieri and great friend jumping on guesting with me. Harvey Armstrong will come in. If you guys don't know who Harvey Armstrong is, he played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He actually played for the Colts. That's whose helmet is over there. So he's going to be jumping on the Sports Grid with Joe and myself, the two Joes together. It's going to be a lot of fun. Welcome Harvey Armstrong, and then we might have Hall of Famer joining us. So stay tuned for that. I will announce that on my Twitter if he's able to make it. But you guys, I will be back here tomorrow for another Pocket with Joe. Hit that subscribe button. I don't know what time I'm going live. I got to be on Sports Grid at 12 Eastern. That means we have to do Pocket before 12 Eastern. So join me before 12 Eastern tomorrow. You guys have a good one. Keep smiling. Make some freaking money today, and all the best in all of your bets. Let me know below this video what you're betting, what you're liking. I'll have a Super Bowl video coming out later today on what I'm loving. Remember, over 5.5 sacks. Jalen Hurts for that anytime touchdown, over on his rushing yards as well. I think the Eagles win it big. I think they win it by 5. You guys, I'm laying the 1.5 with the Eagles. Spoiler alert. Sorry, that's where I'm going. I love the defense. And I think Mahomes isn't 100%. I think Jalen Hurts, as long as he has a fantastic game, he doesn't make mistakes, Eagles win by 5. You guys have a good one. Keep smiling. Let's make some freaking money. And under that total keeps climbing. Wait till the public bets it up to 52. Bye, guys.